Previously on Project IGI.
Break into this communications node. It houses the main computers. They route all comms traffic.
Right then, let's see what we got. Some rubbish music.
Now in the penalty area, his cross in, and it's hooked away.
Oh, come on.
Oh, Priboi, you are so nice. You give me all my lovely things. Oh, you are so manly.
Oh, lady, you know me. I'm Said Priboi. I'm the greatest. Oh, how about you and me get together and have a little bit of... yes.
Oh, yes, let's do that. I love you.
Oh, you dirty bastard.
You believe Priboi to be here?
Jones, I know. The virus you uploaded, it works like a dream. This is one of his more remote storage yards. Get this. He's currently holding a goddamn arms sale.
You're leading me into bad company. My mum warned me about ladies like you. They'd lead you astray.
And what happened?
I mainly got led astray.
Typical. Listen up. Priboi conducts all his deals from his limo. It's bulletproof, of course, and located close to the gates. Should anything go wrong, Priboi has one plan. Make a run for the open road and leave his men to do the fighting. I want to exploit this plan. Harrison and his men are setting up on the exit road. I want you to enter the base and create one hell of a noise. Priboi will run like hell. Harrison will intercept him, stop the limo, and seize Priboi. Harrison has a chopper nearby.
These are the mission parameters. Enter the base. You must maintain the element of surprise. That's crucial.
Obtain explosives from the warehouse. You'll need these to create the right diversion. Then move to the fuel depot and create a diversion using the explosives. Priboi should bolt like a startled rabbit. Harrison will take him down.
Hello and welcome back to Project IGI, stately home of Charles Foster Kane. Let's get the ball rolling, shall we? Let's have a look at the weapons. Got a knife, got a Glock, and an MP5, and that's it. And from the outset, we've also got Anya whittering on in our ear. If it wasn't enough that we had an introduction cutscene telling us what we needed to do, and also having a map computer with all the objectives handily listed there, Anya for some reason decides to tell us all of them again. If I was to hazard a guess, I reckon this is probably a way for the developers to kind of change things up after the fact. Once they've recorded the voices for the intro, there's not really much more they can do. They just kind of have to patch up any mess that they leave after the fact. And I think that's probably what happened here. It's a way for them to say, yeah, we know the intro said this, but this is what you actually have to do. And this is something that kind of comes up a little bit later. On to some gameplay, and our first objective is to get past this office building area. Starting at the left, working to the right, and then going north. That's the way we have to go. We have to get through that particular gate. There's a number of ways to do that, and I'm pretty much exhaustively going to cover as many of them as I could find. A brief peek at the rest of the map. We've got what appears to be a jet. Okay, I don't think there's enough runway to actually fly that thing. I don't know why it's there. We've got the two objectives, and if we move further on up the map, we can see the other two objectives. Got the two gas tanker things that we have to blow up, and then apparently where Priboi is hanging out. Right, oh. And a helicopter. Right, that's not a good sign. First step we have to do is actually get over to the entrance. This is where all of the vehicles and such come in, but there's no real road that leads to it. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. It's hard to tell where all of the traffic for this particular base comes from, and later on in the level there's another example of that which I'll bring up. As I said before, there's a couple of ways to get through here. The main things to worry about are the camera and the two guys inside the window there. You can see them just, for whatever reason, just kind of having a chat. So let's start by seeing some of the things that can go wrong whenever you're trying to do this. The biggest hurdle of them all is that there's one guy who will always run for an alarm whenever he gets spooked. It's the guy who's closest to the window. You can see that we didn't kill him first, so he had time to get to the alarm, and that's something you really don't want to do in this level. And and if we go through the doorway instead of just shooting them through the window, we meet a guy who, whenever we kill him, will just alert the guys in the next room anyway, so kind of going this way is out of the question. However, we can do this if we take care to shoot them from a distance and take out the guy who is closest to the window that ends up running and hitting the alarm. We can end up just kind of solving our problems. Sure, it'll alert other people, but only those nearby, and they'll come out and chase it around and things like that, but the important thing is that the alarm doesn't get set off. And there's another example of some weird AI. If we take an immediate right and just kind of fanny around outside the fence, the guards just kind of get alerted and come running out after us. They don't set off the alarm or anything. They just kind of say, fuck is that out there? And they all come running out to have a look at you, and then that's kind of it. It's one way to deal with things. To shake things up a little bit, here's how you do it successfully. Rather than actually letting them see you and having all of that sort of crap happen around you, you just crouch under the window and sort of squeeze yourself around the corner, and that's it. You just go to the end of the gate, unlock it, and you're home free. But we're not going to do that. We're going to see some more failures first. Another option, a very bad option, is to use this wire to crawl over to the roof of the building. Well, what's the problem with it? Well, aside from the fact that it's so god-awfully slow, we can get spotted by quite a few things. First and foremost is the guy we can see directly over in the window. If we try to kill him in advance before we get on the wire, then the smashing window and the sound of him dying alerts the guy next to the switch, who then just triggers the alarm. But sometimes, if we play our cards right and the guy in the window doesn't see us, we can make our way all the way across to the roof. At which point you will generally just set off the alarm. So why does that happen? Well, that basically was solved by Sunday Punch, thanks to him for pointing out that whenever you're running around on gravel, the guards can hear that and are alerted by it. So you can see here I'm kind of crawling around on the rooftop, which is covered in gravel. As soon as I start moving and running about, the guy below gets alerted and the alarm is triggered. Okay, enough of that, let's go back to the main run itself. Let's have a look at the way that I usually tend to do things. I go for this particular approach, I go up to the window, shoot the guy who's closest, and then take out the guy behind him. If you're wondering why I don't just avoid the whole building and sneak past, well, there's something inside that we should really get a hold of when we can. And our reward is stashed off in the corner on top of those boxes. It is a Law 80, the light anti-armor weapon. Chiefly used by the British. I'm not sure why it's in Estonia, but again, Priboi is an arms dealer, so I guess he's likely to come across these sorts of things. If you find more ammo, you can fire multiple shots, while in reality they're supposed to be just one-shot disposable weapons. In the meantime, however, we'll just make our way out the other side of the building and we'll get a little further into the actual base complex. Out the door, we've got some kind of container which apparently has some explosive materials inside. Sadly, however, it doesn't actually blow up. And a good thing too. If we head off, we've got a bunch of shipping containers there. We can avoid them for the moment. We don't really need to run around there. We'll have a look at that in a second. But off here is the gate that we would have come out of, and this gate's a little bit weird. If we open it up and then try to close it, it'll automatically keep opening. That's not particularly weird on its own, but all doors have a kind of timeout and eventually they shut themselves automatically. So if you hang around long enough, the gate will eventually close itself and then just open itself again. So presumably this thing just opens and closes itself like it's haunted just forever and ever and ever and ever. Back to the main run, and now we're outside the courtyard. If we take a look over, we can see the jet, which is being refueled or something, and there's three guys standing next to it. We've got, appears to be a very happy scientist, someone's dad, and a very disapproving businessman. And as well as a speed sign for 6 miles an hour, we've got, yeah, let's just stay away from here for the moment. Let's go this way. Got an entrance on the left. If we check the map, It seems that our first objective, the C4 charges, are in there. Well, we've got a camera we can get rid of. And we'll just nip back here because there is a guy running around and you do really want to take care of him. If he spots you, he's another one of those guys that immediately runs for the near switch, which happens to be very close, just over there. Also, what we can do is we could have used the shipping containers, climbed up on top of them, and jumped over the wall to get the drop on the guy. And if you catch that guard just at the right time in his patrol, you can see him kind of doing a little hop, like he's either stood on something or he's been shot in the foot. And as an additional reward for coming in and bothering with all this, we get ourselves another rocket launcher. Oh, what's going on over here? It's very noisy. Oh, it looks like a shooting range. Got the targets and holy shit, look at all the decals. I don't think I'm going to go in there. There must be another way inside.
Say hello to my little friend!
We frontal our way up this side of the warehouse. We've got the other entrance inside. We've got a red cross, and we've also got the security cameras too. Yeah, 2 in 1. The game tries to be very cheeky there with that guy. If you're not quick on the draw to, well, either to shoot him or just get the fuck out of there, you will take a shotgun in the face. Once we get inside, we pick up our lovely healthy reward. We'll worry about the cameras later, we don't need them right now. And let's take a look inside the warehouse and see if we can find those C4 charges. Around the corner, we've got the actual arms deal itself taking place. We have 2 guys on mounted machine guns and the other pair are just sort of having a chat to each other. And they are as blind as bats, you can kind of wander around and they don't really care all that much. If we look around the corner, there's actually a guy with a shotgun here who you'll normally not notice until you're way out, unless you try to be cheeky and sort of get in by weaving through the boxes, in which case he would see you straight away. So to kill these guys, I prefer to just line them all up and kill them at once. One of them has a different weapon. We've got, this one we'll avoid for the moment. We've got a Dragunov, a Mini-Me and an AK. And over here we've got an alarm, but I've never seen any of them actually ever go near it at all. Back of the truck we've got some proximity mines. You may have noticed that we already picked up the C4 charges from the sort of crates in the middle. Now that we've got those, we can pretty much just leave if we want to, but we might as well just kill this guy before we leave. That one wasn't quite as good. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to introduce the greatest fucking weapon in the game. If we drag out the shotgun, you can see that the firing rate is abysmally slow, but if we pick this baby up, we have ourselves a jackhammer. We'll see more of this baby in action later on, but for now we'll give this really disappointing mounted machine gun a try. If we jump on, we've got a limited sort of circle. I mean, there's a big enough spread and things, but there's no targeting reticule. It's actually very difficult to kill things with it. You can't zoom or anything useful. Oh well. Nip down to the end of the range, you can see just how fucking accurate these guys are. It might not look like they're doing particularly well, but given that their normal firing with like the AK and stuff is just all over the place, this is actually pretty fucking good, and that's absolutely destroying that target. Well, we're done in here. We've killed everyone, got some wonderful weapons, and we've got our objectives so we can make our way out. It is possible to get in, grab the C4 charges and get out without actually being seen, but why would you do that when you can get some free easy kills and lots of sexy weapons? Show must go on. Don't forget before you leave to turn off the cameras, otherwise you might get yourself in a sticky situation, as I've done many times. When we disable the cameras, it's actually for a very long time, and there's only one other camera left, so it is kind of needlessly lengthy, but well, I'm not going to complain. Time to cross the courtyard, and it's very quiet. Well, if you'd set off the alarm beforehand, here's what would have happened. We've got this APC controlling the area, and you can see why we have the law weapon sort of lying around. If you keep on the move, you can dodge most of the shells. we get too close, however. To be fair, the tank really isn't that much of a threat. If you're standing still, or if you're beside a wall and it can get some good splash damage on you, then yeah, it's going to wreck your shit. But if you just keep moving, it's really no trouble at all. It's very easy to avoid. Oh, what the fuck? I'm inside it. Okay, so when it's rotating on the spot, it can't kill you. But, oh yeah, when it actually moves forward, then it triggers sort of the kill box and then you get run over. It's not really the only problem with the APC either. If you get yourself at the right angle, it ends up just shooting itself. Over and over and over. It doesn't damage itself, which is kind of a shame. It would be really funny if it did, but no, it just kind of fires into itself. So we'll just put it out of its misery. Kabloom! But since we were clever enough not to set off the alarm, we can pretty much walk across this unscathed. There's a barracks off in the corner, but we'll come to that in a moment. That's actually quite an annoying thing. This walled off area is where our next objective is. It's going to be inside. We have to turn off the power. It's a power generator room. Before we do, we'll just walk over to the gate and see if we can get through. No. It's locked. Just like in the first level, it's just a gate we can't get through and we have to find another way. I wonder what that way is. Look at all those pylons and wires. Alright, back to the walled area. The problem with this place is that it's got a locked gate and we can't really go up and just unlock it to get inside because it's covered by a camera, but we've already taken care of that. But there's a guy patrolling the front entrance, and he's one of those guys that when he sees you, he hits the alarm before he tries to shoot you. So you have to be extremely careful. He can see you from really far away too, so you really do have to make use of your map to fucking try and get him first. He's probably the biggest failure reason that I've had for this level. It's always him that really fucks me up. Before we step inside, let's go and have a look at the garage. Oh. Where did you come from? There's no spawning point over there. If I'm right, what? Oh, holy shit. There's a guy inside the garage in this corner. He just kind of hangs out there, and somehow he managed to just sort of run all the way around and get me from behind. How the hell did he do that? Oh well. These three guys, they're obviously quite skittish. If you fire near them, they end up just sort of running around. I think their AI is treated as a civilian. You can actually kind of cheat the game. If you copy their AI config file into all of the other enemy config files, they'll all basically run around like this. Every single person will run around and just sort of stay away from you. It's one way to cheat the game, but yeah, we'll not do that. Maybe I'll show it off later on, I don't know. Hey, come back, I just wanted to be friends! I'm a nice guy. I'm a geezer. Come on. Try this approach again. We can have a look in the garage at the tank before it actually moves out, and if you haven't triggered the alarm, it's completely inert. It doesn't do anything. I mean, we can walk up to it and sort of push against it and things. It doesn't hurt us in any way. It doesn't aim at us or fire at us or anything until the alarm specifically is set off. One thing we can do, however, just in case we're worried about the alarm being set off again, is that we can destroy it with the law in advance. There's another APC beside it, but we can't do anything to that because it's not actually an enemy model. I think it's just an sort of level thing. If we try to shoot it, nothing happens, but the splash damage kills the actual APC beside it. Right, where were we? Oh yes. This'll teach you not to be my friend. I've got a knife! What are you gonna do now? EG man. Yeah! Yeah! Ah! Have it! Yeah, what about you 50s dad? You can have it too. And you Mr. Scientist man, you can go to your own fucking Lambda complex. Right. Objectives, yes. Power generator, let's go! This building is just the same as every other power generator room. It's got either 1 or 2 generators down at the bottom. In this particular one, however, we have a panel which we can go up and make use of. As the notification says, that means the electric fences are switched off down at the secondary compound that we have to get to. More about that later on. Additionally, when we hit this switch, it also flips another flag which makes a couple of things happen as well. We'll get to those in just a moment once we get out. Once again, we can see the boxes in the void, and also there's some boxes at the top too. Thinking about it a little more, I think that those are there for kind of placement alignment. Since this section is kind of underground, the boxes are used to kind of sort of offset the ground, so it kind of doesn't clip through the bottom of things. And again, the upper boxes allow the map maker to kind of use them as a sort of placement height marker and stuff for kind of aligning things up. It makes sense that they're there, but not that they're rendering. That's kind of the strange thing. Really, they should have been removed. It's time to climb the pylon, but not quite yet. We're gonna do something that normally I wouldn't do. Usually I'll try to play the game as if I'm kind of doing it for the first time and kind of show off what sort of normal reactions you would expect whenever you're coming across something. But for this one, you have to really know this in advance. I'm gonna drop a lot of proximity mines around here in a particular path, and we'll see why shortly when we make our way back to the pylon and start climbing. Keep a beady eye on the barracks. Boom! I mentioned earlier that whenever you hit the switch in the generator room, it triggers a couple of flags. And this is one of them. If you try to climb this ladder before hitting the switch, nothing will happen. The guys won't spawn. But once you do, they start pouring out of the building and they just kind of keep on coming. And they can get all the way over to a firing position by the time you reach the top. And because we're going to be zip sliding down and there's no way to kind of defend ourselves, and it's really difficult to shoot about 3 of them from the top of the pylon. On our way down, we've got ourselves a new friend. We don't see him for very long, so keep an eye on the most badass person in the world. Yep, that's a guy with an Uzi in a hind, and he gets a shot off at us. He doesn't actually hit us, but still, he tries, and that's what makes him such a badass. When we land at the other end, we have to be very quick to get this guy, and he can shoot you off the pylon. You have to be very careful. If we go back to talking about those 3 guards chasing us again, it's really just better to throw down some proximity mines and take care of them in advance. I mean, we've got other things to worry about rather than this crap. You can see in some of the example clips that they do get a little bit obnoxious. They can really wreck you very easily. It's unfair. This is one of the things in this level that kind of sticks out as being kind of unnecessary. I wish they hadn't done it. It feels kind of cheap. That little aside over with, let's look at something a little bit more interesting. The chopper, we only see it for that moment when it's flying past, but it's one of the other things affected by that flag, and whenever we climb that ladder it spawns the guys and it spawns the chopper as well. So we can start to climb and then drop back down and go back into the main base again, and that means we get to follow the chopper. And if you look very carefully, it kind of switches off its rotors and crashes. And then you can leave the front of the base and go and have a look at it. You can see it there sliding down the hill very slowly. You can climb on top of it, so it is a solid structure. And my god, no wonder it crashed, there's no one flying it. Having a peek around the side, we can... oh, he's still there. He's not shooting at us, which is weird, but we can kill him. We're not able to jump inside, it's all blocked off. That means we can't pick up his gun, but it's only an Uzi, so who cares. But yeah, that's it. It just kind of slowly slides down that slope forever. I haven't waited around long enough to actually see if it stops or anything like that, because it moves so slowly I just give up and move on. If we don't switch off the generator, the helicopter doesn't take off.
Say hello to my little friend!
Oh, now that's really disappointing. We didn't even kill the guy inside. Okay, let's get on with things. In order to go down the zip lines, we've got 2 of them, but we have to kind of alternate which one we go down each time we meet a new pylon. If we try the original one, it treats this not as the start of a new one, but as the end of the old one, so you just sort of glitch out. and we've reached the end of the line. The pylon goes further on into the other base that we're supposed to get into, but in order to ensure that we take care of the electric fences and get over it that way, it just doesn't give us the option of shimmying along these wires anymore. Whenever we reach this pylon, it spawns 2 guys from the barracks below, so we'll take them out before we go down because they're very close and we don't want to risk getting shot when we're sliding down. Once we do kill them, we need to run away very quickly because they infinitely respawn. But there's maybe about 10-15 seconds before they do. It gives us enough time to get away. Check out this fucking bullshit. The guy with the Uzi inside the chopper can still see us, but only at certain angles. When I strafe back and forwards, you can see that clearly. Now we're on our way to the final section of the mission. I want you to keep this area in mind. So there's no way in or out. There's just kind of slopes and rugged terrain. There's no path or anything like that. It's just kind of a dead end. Just keep that in mind. And also these trees. These may seem familiar, maybe you've forgotten, but these are the trees that Harrison and his men are supposed to be hanging out at as an ambush. But they're not here. They're there in the intro, but they're not here. Maybe they're in the ether? Maybe? Don't go into the light, Harrison! Don't go into the light! That's the best I can think of. And if you think that was bad, here's a joke from Ainsley McTree. How do you wake up Lady Gaga? You poke her face. Map of the compound shows us a bunch of gates and 2 cameras and 1 guard patrolling. Objective number 3 is on the right, so let's go that way. Pop this guy in the face and amble up to the fence. Obviously, if you didn't turn off the fence, you're going to be in a bit of trouble. There's no actual prompt to climb it, but if you touch the fence, you will take some damage, and eventually, if you stick around, you'll die. But since we turned off the power, we have a prompt to climb over the fence, so let's get on with that. And now that we're over, we can make our way over to the giant gas cylinder storage things and plant the C4. You can see the cameras and Priboi's limo off in the distance. That's 1. Over and get the second one, being careful to stay out of sight of the cameras. And we're done, so let's leg it! We're given way more time to get away from the explosion than we really need. It ends up being a safe enough distance. We don't actually take any damage when the explosion goes off, but when it does, we end up getting pushed back a bit and it makes it seem pretty cool. The explosion was big enough to take out the 2 security cameras, so we don't have to worry about that anymore, and it's also had the desired effect and startled Priboi. The limo is already on its way and we can watch it make its way through the gates. We can chase the limo and see where it goes. Take care of this arsehole. Watch it drive past the 3 trees where Harrison and his men are supposed to be, and get to the helipad and disappear. Right. Well.
Say hello to my little friend!
God damn it, these things are fucking useless. Let's move on to the 4th objective, shall we? It's a little hectic, so... Right, off to the western edge of the compound, we've got what appear to be some floating speakers. I'm assuming there's supposed to be a pole or something here that they're meant to be connected to, or they're just not, well, I guess not meant to be there. And this warehouse has nothing. It has some nice decor, but there's nothing in it. This is the building we're meant to be assaulting. It's got 3 entrances. 2 of them are on this side, you can see them there. One of them has a little window beside it. It seems to be some sort of guard station. And the side entrance is over here. If we had gone to the western side first before we set off the C4 charges, we can actually get a look at Priboi's car. We can shoot the fucking thing up, but it makes no difference. And we can have a look at the vanity number plate. The doors themselves don't open until we set off the charges, and then we can get in, but this can't happen. So anyway, we're about to make the assault when, over the comms, we begin to hear a kerfuffle going on between Harrison and Priboi. We get a blow-by-blow account of how the operation is going. Sort of rambles on for a bit. There's apparently this huge sort of effort going on. There's multiple cars and a machine gunner and stuff. Which is totally not the case when we actually see the result. It's so fucking benign, it's unbelievable. Blah blah blah. Towards the end of all of this, it tells us that the chopper pilot has been injured and that Jones is going to have to fly the chopper out himself. That becomes fairly important. Eventually they sort of stop talking and then we can focus on the job at hand and assault the building. I picked this door to assault from first because it gives us an opportunity to take out that guy up in the office window. He's the biggest pain in the arse, and I'll show you that in a little bit. So yeah, we can take him out now and we'll then nip off to the other doors and actually proceed from there. Oh god, I love this gun. You're gonna see me just look at how awesome it is. It's got rapid fire and it's a shotgun and it can kill people from miles away. It'll take a maximum of maybe 2 at worst, well, sometimes 3, but you just press the button and things die. It's so great. So why are we in the building? Well, there's 2 specific locations we have to go to. And there are some cabinets we have to rifle through. We don't have to go through them all, but we do have to do at least some from both locations, so we can't just get all we need in one place. So we'll get these 2, move on. Okay, here's why this guy is such an arsehole. We can run underneath him to hide from him, but that won't stop him. He'll just keep shooting through the fucking floor. If he gets 1 hit on you, it'll generally be in your head and you'll be dead. And that'll be that. And that got me once and I was very, very angry. But we killed him, so he can go fuck himself. When you're doing this particular objective, you really need to get things done as quickly as possible. Because if you wait too long, eventually everyone in the warehouse just respawns. So there's no time to fanny around. Going up to the office, we've got some final cabinets and ooh, hey, sexy mama, wanna kill all humans? Okay, 1 more cabinet does it. Anya tells us that we're done, and that's it. I'll see you next time. And I'll just leave you with how pathetic this battle scene looks. There are no cars, there are no 4 cars, there's just the fucking limo. Fucking lazy bastards.